Hi all, I'm going to demonstrate a student's application. The modules inside the student application is as follows. The student can register themselves, can log in, can create events inside the system. And also the modification of events can happen. The modification can only happen by the students who have created that events. Now there is also the concept of the admin user. The admin user can view all the user and can view all the events. In the current context, we call the user as the students. Right, so in the workspace you can see that there are two projects: secure coding _ fixed. Secure coding consists of the codes that are vulnerable for some kind of security issues. Secure coding _ fixed fixes all those vulnerabilities. So we go ahead and check. So this is the URL pattern of the fixed code, and this is the URL pattern of the vulnerable codes. You can clearly see that the fixed code consists of an HTTPS connection, while the unfixed connection doesn't. So whatever request goes through this form, the fixed one goes in the in form of an encryption. So just go ahead and let's check and get the information. So the encryption will happen using the AES 128-bit key using the GCM mode. So let's go ahead and create a user in the system. So an identifier pops up saying success. This identifier means that the user has been successfully created, and hence the database would have been updated. We go ahead and check the database, and you can clearly see that this is the user that we just now added. You can also see that password contains some garbled values. So this is the random value generated by SHA-2 function. So we do not store the password as it is. We calculate hash value using SHA-2 function, and then we store the password. Now we can go ahead and log in using any of the registered user ID. So this is the login form. I can use any name that has been previously registered. I'll go ahead and log in myself, and you can see this is the user operations page. Here there are three tasks that a user can perform: view all events, create event, modify your events. So view all events displays all the events that are present in the system. Create event, with create event a user can create a new event in the system. Modify your events, user can modify his events. So we'll go ahead and we'll create an event in the system. Event created. So this is a success identifier, and when we go and check, so see, this is the event that has been created. Event ID 9. User enters its user ID. So this is my user ID, and this is the event ID. Now I can go ahead and modify this event, but I will only be able to modify the events which I have created. So these two events are the only one which I can modify. The event ID with 8 and 9. So let's go ahead and modify an event. So this is the form for the event modification. I'll enter the ID as 9, name. So now I can enter any name. So I will enter the test new. Description I will enter test 1. Location I will enter ISC. Start date I will change to 23rd. End date to 23rd, and roll number myself. So event updated, I get an identifier. So I'll just go ahead and check whether it has been updated in the database. So you can see clearly the event has been updated to this. If I had used the event ID of some other user, I would not have been able to update this event. Also there is one more functionality in the user operation, that's view all events. So this all event service renders a JSON file. So I just go ahead and I'll see. So these are all the list of the events that are currently present in the system, and you can see a JSON file rendering of all the events in the system. Now core session management has been implemented in this project. You can see that there is a logout button. So currently the user is logged in as Ajit, and his also kind of session management has been done session where in the session variables we store the username and display. When we click on logout, automatically this session will get invalidated and all the sessions will be closed. So just go ahead and so you can see that it has again been redirected to index.jsp file, the login page. Now if we just go ahead and use any of the pages directly in the URL, I will not be able to call those pages. So just go ahead, I'll go ahead and I'll check. So I have been redirected again to index.jsp. So this particular thing has been implemented in the JSP file. So I'll just browse through the code. Here we can see that if the session value of the user is null, it sends the page directly to the index.jsp. Any user cannot just directly go and modify any other user's events, or he cannot create the events without being logging into the system. So this all is handled by the session management. Now there is also a module related to the admin user. So there is a specific type of user called the admin user who can view all the users in the system and who can view all the events in the system. So we'll just go ahead and log in with his account. The username is admin self. So this is the pane of the admin operations. So as stated before, there are two operations allowed: list all users, list events, and these all are being rendered using the web service REST APIs, and they get rendered using the JSON file. So I'll just go ahead and invoke. See, these are all the users that are present in the system. So he's able to see all the users who are present in the system. So these are all the users. So JSON rendering file. Also the operation of the list event. So this again shows the event that are being present in the system. You can see all the events are there. Now let us do a few code walkthrough. So there are several vulnerabilities in the original code. One of such vulnerability is SQL injection. So any user can directly enter the sensitive information inside the input box and get the events and modification of the events web service call. So to protect that, we need to implement the JDBC connection using the prepared statement. So we go ahead and we see. So first of all, there are these are the source code, and it's particularly implemented on the MVC architecture. So anything in the view is rendered using the JSP file. The JSP file calls the several services. You can see that admin service, event service, login service, register service. Now in turn, these services go to the controller, and these are the controller files. You can see that event manager, event model, security manager, session handler, user manager, and user model. Now in all the kinds of handling, the controller kind of handling is been done over here. This controller in turn calls the DA or data access objects. Now this data access object provides the core functionality of the insertion, deletion, and these kind of operations. So database core operations are being done over here. This is completely based on the MVC architecture. So now let's check the protection related to the SQL injection. So in SQL injection, let us see this class registration handler. So you can see that in the registration handler, prepared statement is used with the queries as question marks, and these question marks have been set in the next corresponding lines in the class file. So any spatial sequence cannot be entered into the input box, and some malicious activity cannot be performed over here. Apart from this security, any malicious user can enter the scripts inside the registration form, login form, or any event service form, and that will be stored inside the database. When the form loads, those scripts will be executed and user experience will be hampered. So to handle such situations of the XSS cross-site scripting, there are some special functionality that has been performed over here. So you can see if script tags comes in, we nullify this script tags with some LGLT kind of thing. So on all the insertion classes, all these session services, this has been implemented. You can clearly see in the login pane, then the register service pane, and then the event service. Also, malicious user can perform a session hijacking or kind of thing. So already when a session is valid, he can enter into the, he can create a session kind of thing from the by invoking a JSP page which he already for which some implementation already he knows. So to counter those situations, what actually has been done over here, you can just browse through and you can see this. So this is a page that is completely hidden from the user perspective. So if this page is displayed to the user will directly write its username and see the events and modification of events by any of the user in the system whose username he knows. Now this session.jsp file is an intermediate file that is completely hidden by the user. Once the session management is performed in this session.jsp file, which appears to be here, so these are the session management being performed, and then this page redirects things to create event. So this page becomes completely hidden and all the session management becomes completely hidden from the user. Hence a malicious user cannot perform fixation attack. Also, this implementation of the session management will counter the common injection issues. So as the session management and everything is hidden by the user, so no injection can be performed using the query parameter inside the URL. So these are the implementations that we have done for this secure coding project. Thanks for watching the video.